Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Talk Wild. Your girl Tay here, and I'm back with another podcast episode. Today is February 9th, 2023, and this is episode 18, Extinction. 40% of the U.S. animals are at risk. For this episode, I'll be discussing the new study published by NatureServe that found that 40% of the United States animals are at risk of going extinct. But before we get into that, make sure you guys follow and subscribe to the podcast on all podcasting and social media platforms. Also, head to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and check out the videos over there once you're done over here. I know I took a 2-week break, but guys, follow me on, YouTube, follow me on my social media platforms, because sometimes I'm just doing stuff over there. And sometimes, a girl wants to take a break from, podcasting and stuff like that. I got the new baby and stuff, so I be doing a lot of stuff, okay? But make sure you guys follow me so you guys can stay in the loop with everything that's going on. Now, let's talk wild. For nearly 50 years, NatureServe has been an authoritative source for biodiversity in North America. They work with multiple network organizations and over 1,000 conservation scientists to collect and analyze biodiversity that needs conservation action. According to a new study by NatureServe, 40% of animals, 34% of plants, and 41% of ecosystems in the United States are at risk of extinction. Animals found in freshwater habitats such as amphibians, crayfish, mussels, snails, and many aquatic insects are most at risk. Among pollinators, bees are the most threatened, with 37% of assessed species at risk. 200 tree species, almost half of the cactus species, and nearly 1 in 5 grass species are at risk. Grasslands are the most threatened ecosystems, with over half of 78 grassland types known to be at risk. The main threats for terrestrial animals are 55% invasive animals and disease, 52% agriculture, and 44% climate. The main threats for freshwater animals are 69% pollution, 66% dams and water management, and 42% invasive species and disease. The main threats for plants are 62% invasive plants and disease, 40% agriculture, and 38% recreation. Conservation efforts and management can become expensive, and sometimes they just don't work. So conserving the biodiversity that is already in place is very, very important. NatureServe supports the passing of the Recovering America's Wildlife Act in the 118th Congress. RAWA would be a generation's largest, most transformational investment in wildlife and habitat conservation. It would fund state, territory, and tribal-led work to identify and protect areas and species that need conservation action. Woo, that was a lot, honey. I mean, it was straightforward. So shout out to NatureServe, because when I read the research, it was, straight to the point, easy to understand, they got straight to the point, gave us, everything that we needed to know, So now it's time for Tay's Wild Thoughts. Okay, so am I surprised? No. Am I disappointed in the results of what's happening with our animals and ecosystems? Yes. I think things could have been so much better if the general public and our government took things like this more seriously. Now it seems as though, people are jumping on the, protect the animals, protect our ecosystems and habitats, bandwagon, when it would have been more effective if everyone was already on board from the very beginning. But, we can't go back in time, to change things. We can only, move forward and support our scientists, researchers, conservationists, bills, laws, and any other efforts, to save our, biodiversity. But I think people didn't think that freshwater habitats that, have the amphibians, the crayfish, the mussels, the snails, and the insects, and all of that, would be most at risk. People underestimate the role that these small species play in our ecosystems. But everything on this earth has an important part in the circle of life. If one species of animal is a main source of food for another, and they die out, then the species that relied on them for food now has to search for a new main food source. If a species is a main predator to another and helps keep the population numbers under control and they die out, the population's, numbers spike. Another example, is a species of animal that eats a certain invasive, plant that has been found, it's found its way into a habitat, that it doesn't belong. If that animal dies out, that invasive plant takes over and the natural plants from that area suffer and also die out. So, people just need to understand that everything plays a part. No matter how big or small the species of animal, they all play a role in keeping the ecosystem running. It's like mechanics, basically. You need every, screw, bolt, gear, spring, wheel, belt, everything to do its job so the entire mechanical device can run smoothly. That's just how, the animals are in the ecosystem. As far as the threats, with the human population on the rise, there will always be more habitat destruction for agriculture, farming, and the building of more companies. The pollution isn't getting any better. It seems like these big companies can cause huge oil spills, get a slap on the wrist, move on, and continue doing business like they didn't just destroy an entire habitat and ecosystem. Our government has the power to change so many things, but they don't care. Money is more important. In my opinion, allegedly, money is more important than preserving the earth and the life forms that, live on her. But it will matter. It will matter when the government, one of them government officials, they go on their yearly fishing trip, child, and they catch a bass with 4 eyes that's been living in polluted sludge water. That's when it's gonna matter, huh? See, people don't get to see the big picture and why these things matter until it personally affects them. But, I could go on and on, but I feel like, you guys get the point, basically. I advise anyone listening to support your conservationist groups and the passing of the Recovering America's Wildlife Act in the 118th Congress. I'll do another podcast episode where I break down the act, but I'm here for all the support to help our species, habitats, ecosystems, and biodiversity, okay? But you guys let me know how you feel about today's topic, extinction. 40% of the U.S. animals at risk, okay? Now leave a comment on the Let's Talk Wild Instagram page and YouTube channel. Make sure you guys follow and subscribe to the podcast on all podcasting and social media platforms. And y'all already know the most important part: love yourself, one another, your pets, and the animals. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.